Hello folks, and welcome to a very rough guide on how to shoot and edit video at home. In these videos I'll be covering a few techniques and free programs that will allow you to do some very basic creation and editing of video of your performance. I'll keep things as simple as possible, though there will be far more things you can do if you're enthusiastic enough to push it. I'll be on hand to help out as much as possible. First, we'll be looking at video capture, or filming. There are two basic components of video: audio and image. It sounds obvious, but they can be best worked with when you understand these things as being very much separate but complementary things. Even when the device that you're recording on seems like it only gives you a single file, it's actually something that can be manipulated as either audio or video, or as both together. You can, with certain software, separate the sound from the visuals or drop audio like music into your edit as well. But let's keep it basic for now. Recording. Don't have a posh camera? Doesn't matter too much. You'll likely at least have one camera, or maybe even 3 or 4 right now. And entire movies have been made with mobile devices such as GoPro, for instance. Now, we're not going for an Academy Award here, so let's say that you have a phone or a webcam. So, recording on a mobile phone, everybody just about has one of these, and one of the nice things about it is very mobile, obviously. So you can do all sorts of stuff with this. You can position it where you want to get different effects, all this kind of stuff. So that's the great advantage of using these devices for videoing. The obvious disadvantage is it wobbles. You can clatter it around a bit, and it can be a little awkward to use. If you've got somebody who can help you, that is one of the ways that you can make this work a bit better, but you will still get a bit of the jiggle. Some have stabilization on them, but don't worry too much in my opinion. But one of the other advantages is you have light sources around your house, whether it be overhead lights or whether it be desk lamps, and you can do all sorts of stuff with that. Looking at the light on my face, you can see how the shadows move. It changes the mood of it. We can make very dramatic by doing stuff like that, from lighting from different positions. And you can even go full on J.J. Abrams and do something very dramatic. Use that wisely, but it is an option. Use anything that's around you. If you've got torches, you can use torches to do various different things, including the shadowy faces kind of thing. If I come around here, you can see the kind of effects you get, and just play around with what you've got. Lighting is one of those things. Everybody has some around a house, and it could even involve just where you sit in your room. That will make the difference. And outside, it's a blazingly sunny day today, so you can use the daylight, and that has a different feel to it. Or if it's a cloudy day when you're doing any filming outside, obviously in your garden or somewhere, self-containing and all that kind of stuff. Make use of it. Make use of the environment. Use what you've got. There's plenty of stuff around. It's just using your imagination a little bit, and I would be around to help you out as necessary. And finger of God going in front of the camera and stuff like that. Joys of mobile phones. Tricky, but usable. And webcams. Now, obviously there are advantages with a webcam. It's attached directly to your computer, usually has a microphone built in, and it's going to be absolutely rock steady. If you have it on a laptop, make sure the laptop is on a nice firm surface, and you will be able to record video just like this. Remember where the camera is when you're delivering. Don't be looking at your monitor like I am at the moment. Remember, it's up here. You are performing to your audience, unless you are specifically intending to perform away from what would be your audience. So look at it in those kind of regards. Think about the framing. There's usually control software within the webcam, depending on what webcam you got, that can sometimes allow you to zoom in or zoom out a little bit. Just work with what you got. For at the moment, all I'll have to do to zoom in is just be a bit closer, like that, and that will work just fine for most performances. One of the things you have to think about when it comes to webcams is lighting position. This is in my usual YouTubing kind of setup, so I tend to be kind of half in shadow. I think it looks a lot nicer than just a flat, straight in the face kind of lighting. So have a think about where you want to position any lighting, whether you want to do it just in regular room lighting, or whether you've got a desk lamp or some other light source that you can use to make yourself look a little bit less like you're just doing a regular podcast or something like that. So any advice that you need for that kind of stuff, I'm around to talk about that, including what kind of light sources you may be able to use. That's kind of the long take approach though, a single shot straight through, and you'll have to ask your module leader if that's the only thing that's acceptable. When it comes to sound, there are a few things to bear in mind. Audio, sound, is a delicate beast, and one that even after years of messing around with this stuff, I still manage to screw up in one form or another. There are a few things you can do to limit the problems. The first is testing it all out. This is being recorded on my higher quality mic. You may notice background noise and the likes, and that's because I haven't got a sound studio either. But don't worry about that too much. Most of that disappears for the listener when you're performing, though be aware of anything particularly loud or intrusive like jet airplanes going overhead or a loud motorbike passing your house, and be prepared to do a retake if needs be. If you're filming outdoors and the wind is strong, then it will be picked up on the mic. If you're rattling the device around, it can be picked up. Be aware of things like this and minimise them to the best of your ability. Where you can, check the levels of your microphone. Don't have it too low or you'll have to boost it in post, which brings problems of its own, and don't have it too high or it will distort. Try to find a nice happy medium that you can perform at a natural level and still be picked up and played back easily. Test it by doing a few practice runs and playing it back. Have the mic at a reasonable distance from your face, not too far, not too close. This will depend on what kind of mic you have, but if you're using a phone or a webcam, then this will likely be the natural distance that you would normally operate it from. The key is to have a play with it, a few practice runs before going for real runs and see what you get. Get to know how your equipment works. Most of the problems can be solved through your device's audio settings, including volumes and other settings. Have a look at these things before shooting and familiarise yourself with where they are and what they do. YouTube videos can usually be found to solve most problems, and it's a case of googling the right phrases like audio settings, iPhone 6 for instance. I likely will never have had contact with your model of phone or device, though I may be able to help a bit if you ask. Abrams, you can bring it right around and do something like that. So there's options. Nice thing is we've got some lovely weather at the moment.